Ever wondered why Anakin threw a tantrum about not getting the rank of Master? Or why younglings train with tiny lightsabers while Masters get to make galaxy-altering decisions? Today, we're diving deep into the sacred hierarchy of the Jedi Order. From the smallest initiates sensing their first force pull, to the wisest Grand Masters who've basically seen it all. Whether you're here to understand why Luke went from farm boy to Jedi Knight suspiciously fast, or just want ammunition for your next Star Wars debate, buckle up. This is your definitive guide to every single Jedi rank in the galaxy. Let's start at the very beginning. And trust me, the Jedi start early. Jedi initiates, more affectionately known as younglings, are Force-sensitive children identified through midi-chlorian blood tests and brought to the Jedi Temple on Coruscant while very young, though not typically straight after birth, as Wee-Dun was considered too young to be taken in by the Order as an infant. In the Temple's creche, younglings are divided into 10 clans of up to 20 younglings and trained in the Jedi arts. They learn meditation, Force philosophy, and basic combat skills. For almost a millennium of the Jedi's Order history, all younglings were trained by Yoda, as we see in the Attack of the Clones when Obi-Wan interrupts his lesson about missing planets. The training is surprisingly comprehensive for kindergarteners. They practice with training lightsabers, study galactic history, and learn Force abilities. One crucial rite of passage is the Gathering, which was the harvesting of kyber crystals for their lightsabers on the remote island of Ilum, a spiritual journey where each youngling must use the Force to find their personal crystal. Notable examples include Grogu, whose training was interrupted by Order 66, and the youngling clans from the Clone Wars, Petro, Katuni, and Gungi the Wookiee. These kids show that personality traits defining their future paths emerge early. The crucial difference from Legends? Canon has no set age when a youngling becomes a padawan. Dooku became one at 16, while Obi-Wan was chosen at 13 and Qui-Gon at 12, but both were considered young for it. Those not selected joined the Jedi Service Corps. No lightsaber heroics, just agricultural work on backwater planets. The Jedi Order, where participation trophy isn't in the vocabulary. Congratulations, young one, you've been handpicked by a Jedi Knight or Master for exclusive one-on-one training. Welcome to the Padawan years, equal parts intense education and awkward teenage angst, now with 100% more deadly weapons training. The transition from youngling to Padawan is huge. You go from classroom learning to field experience faster than you can say, I have a bad feeling about this. Padawans sport that distinctive braid, or beads/chains for species without hair, which basically screams, I'm still learning, please don't blame me if I accidentally cause a diplomatic incident. But here's where it gets interesting. Anakin Skywalker became a Jedi Knight after Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, with the Jedi Council viewing Padawans who survived the Battle of Genesis as ready. Talk about grade inflation. This is how Anakin went from whiny Padawan to slightly less whiny Knight between Episodes 2 and 3. The Master-Padawan relationship is the heart of Jedi training. It's part teacher-student, part parent-child, and part please don't get us both killed. Masters are responsible for everything from combat training to ensuring their Padawan maintains their moral center. Padawans are generally in this training stage for about a decade, usually longer. Obi-Wan Kenobi was 25 when he took his trials to become a Jedi Knight, while Anakin Skywalker was considered very young when he was knighted at age 19. The exception? Vernestra Rwoh was a special case, becoming a Padawan extremely early and becoming a knight at an outstanding 15 years old. Ahsoka Tano might be the most famous Padawan in Star Wars history. Under Anakin's tutelage, she goes from eager student to battlefield commander. Her story highlights harsh reality when the Jedi Council told her that her ordeal had proven her character and that she is allowed to graduate. Realizing the Jedi had fallen from what they once were, Ahsoka refused. Other notable Padawans include Obi-Wan under Qui-Gon, Rebellious Master by the book student, Anakin under Obi-Wan, where do we even start? And Cal Kestis under Jaro Tapal. Each relationship shaped not just the Padawan, but the galaxy's future. Braid officially severed, trials conquered. Congratulations, you're now a full Jedi Knight with all the galaxy-saving responsibilities and exactly zero instruction manual that comes with it. Becoming a Jedi Knight is what every Padawan dreams about. It's the moment you go from supervised learner to independent operator, from master, what should I do, to I really hope I don't mess this up. The promotion ceremony itself is surprisingly simple, usually just a lightsaber cutting off that Padawan braid. No fancy graduation caps here, just a way of protecting peace and justice across an entire galaxy. Jedi Knights who wish to attain the rank of Master usually had to train a Padawan and help them successfully complete their Jedi trials. But during the Clone Wars, different story. Many Jedi Knights served as generals during the Clone Wars and were virtually eradicated following the execution of Order 66. Nothing quite like turning peacekeepers into military commanders overnight. The role varies widely by era. In peacetime, Knights serve as meditators, investigators, and protectors, hunting Sith artifacts, mediating trade disputes, or teaching combat forms. During the Clone Wars, they're leading battalions, making split-second decisions affecting thousands, trying to maintain their moral compass amid warfare. Obi-Wan Kenobi during Attack of the Clones represents the ideal knight, skilled, thoughtful, code-dedicated, and masterfully sarcastic about his former Padawan's romantic drama. He investigates independently, showcases combat prowess against Jango Fett, and delivers the galaxy's most understated burns. Kanan Jarrus from Rebels shows a different path, surviving Order 66, figuring out what being a Jedi means without institutional support. Blinded by Darth Maul, he develops foresight and continues protecting his crew, proving knighthood transcends the institution. It's about commitment. Some knights like Anakin chafe against restrictions. Others like Cal Kestis must rediscover knighthood's meaning while being hunted. This diversity shows that while the rank is standardized, the journey never is. The jump from Padawan to Knight is massive. Suddenly you're affecting entire star systems, potentially taking Padawans, leading campaigns, or going undercover for years. The freedom is intoxicating and dangerous. No wonder many Knights struggle with dark side temptations when first tasting real independence. Here's where things get elite. Jedi Master isn't just a title, it's a recognition that you've transcended more skill with a lightsaber and force powers. You've become wisdom incarnate, a living embodiment of what the Jedi Order represents. Or at least, that's the idea. Because the Jedi valued cooperation rather than competition, the rank of Jedi Master was bestowed upon those who had trained a Padawan to knighthood. Not only was it essential for a knight to prove they could teach what they'd learned, but it was also important to learn to let go of their Padawans. The Jedi's non-attachment philosophy reaches its peak here, watching your student grow and leave while feeling nothing. It's like being a parent with emotional anesthesia. Masters serve diverse roles within the Order. Some become legendary teachers like Yoda, while others like Qui-Gon Jinn follow their own interpretation of the code. The variety is staggering. Mace Windu developed Va-Pad, channeling dark side energy without falling. Luminary Unduli's tactical brilliance made her nearly unbeatable in combat. Kit Fisto could breathe underwater and actually smile during meetings. Masters shoulder enormous responsibilities beyond training. They lead critical missions, make galaxy-affecting decisions, and maintain inner peace while everything burns. During the Clone Wars, they became generals overnight, trading meditation for military command. The Jedi Grand Master is the one considered the wisest, not the most powerful. This sets the Jedi in Star Wars apart from the Sith, who consider acquiring power as their supreme goal. Masters must balance incredible abilities with genuine humility. No easy feat when you can literally move mountains. The most interesting Masters challenge the system. Qui-Gon refused a council seat to follow the living force. Dooku was respected before his fall, proving even the best can lose their way. Jocasta Nu managed the archives, showing that knowledge sometimes trumps combat prowess. Training methods vary wildly. Yoda's cryptic wisdom, Obi-Wan's measured instruction, Shakti's unique spatial awareness techniques. Each master brings distinct philosophy, preventing stagnation, in theory. Reality shows masters often struggle with impossible choices. Council orders versus instinct, Padawan safety versus mission success. These dilemmas define them more than lightsaber skills ever could. 12 seats, thousands of Jedi. Do the math. Council membership is rarer than a HUD at a health spa. These dozen masters don't just guide the Order, they shape the destiny of the entire galaxy from their tower high above Coruscant. No pressure or anything. During the Clone Wars, the High Council was made up of 5 lifetime appointees, 4 long-term appointees, and 3 short-term appointees, making for a total of 12 council members. This structure ensures both continuity and fresh perspectives, though by the time of the prequels, fresh might be generous. Some of these folks had been sitting in those chairs for decades. Council membership isn't just about force powers or lightsaber skills. It's about wisdom, political acumen, and the ability to see the bigger picture while everyone else is focused on their immediate problems. These are the Jedi who decide whether to get involved in galactic conflicts, which knights get promoted, and who gets expelled for, say, secret marriages. Looking at you, Anakin. The weight of these decisions can't be overstated. When the Council decided to accept command of the clone army, they fundamentally changed what it means to be a Jedi. When they chose to spy on the Chancellor through Anakin, they compromised their own principles. Every choice ripples across the galaxy, and history judges them harshly for their failures. Different council members bring different strengths. Yoda provides ancient wisdom and unmatched force insight. Mace Windu offers decisive leadership and combat prowess. Ki-Adi-Mundi brings logical analysis, and the galaxy's most unfortunate head shape, Plo Koon, represents compassion and justice. Together, they're supposed to balance each other out. In practice, well, they did miss that whole Sith Lord running the Republic thing. The Council Chamber itself, with its paranormic views of Coruscant, symbolizes both a Jedi's elevated position and their dangerous disconnect from the common people. They make decisions that affect trillions from their ivory tower, often without fully understanding the ground-level implications. It's a setup that practically invites problems. From the Jedi Order's founding, a Council of Masters governed its members. As the earliest High Council ruled for the next several centuries alone on Coruscant, 3 other councils were convened to oversee more specific parts of the Order. The Councils of First Knowledge, Reassignment, and Reconciliation each dealt with aspects too specific for the High Council to run properly on top of the broad scope of other things it oversaw. Not every master wants a council seat. Qui-Gon Jinn famously refused, preferring to follow the will of the Force rather than engage in politics. Others, like Anakin, desperately wanted the recognition but weren't deemed ready. The selection process remains mysteriously vague. Probably involves a lot of meditation and absolutely zero campaign speeches. At the apex of the Jedi hierarchy sits one individual, the Grand Master. If the Jedi Order were a corporation, galaxy's worst merger idea, this would be the CEO. But unlike corporate leaders, the Grand Master is chosen for wisdom, not profit margins. During the prequel era, Yoda was the Grand Master of the Jedi Order. 200 years earlier, during the High Republic era, he actually shared that role with Grand Master Patra Vetter. Yoda holding his position for centuries speaks to both his wisdom and the Order's resistance to change, a double-edged lightsaber. The Grand Master guides through respect, not force. They direct the Order's spiritual path, meditate council conflicts, and serve as the final voice in tied votes. When Yoda speaks, even masters listen, partly from respect, partly because his syntax requires decoding time. Interestingly, the highest-ranking member within the High Council is given the title Master of the Order. During the Clone Wars, this was Mace Windu, not Yoda. Windu, haunted by missing his chance to end the war early when confronting Dooku on Genesis, passed the administrative title to Yoda, who then held both positions. What makes a Grand Master? Not power levels or midi-chlorian counts, but understanding the Force so fundamentally that you become its conduit. It's about seeing beyond immediate crisis to long-term consequences, maintaining hope when darkness overwhelms. Yoda's tenure shows both strengths and weaknesses. His wisdom is undeniable, his Force connection profound, but centuries of life made him conservative, slow to adapt. By the time he recognized the Sith's return, it was too late. The Grand Master's greatest asset, experienced perspective, became a liability when that experience blinded him to new threats. In Legends, Luke eventually becomes Grand Master, bringing fresh perspectives while honoring traditions. Canon hasn't explored this yet, but the role remains. Someone must guide the Jedi, whether a formal order or a lone teacher passing on what they've learned. Not every Jedi fits the standard progression. The Order recognized different threats, required different specialists, creating unique positions that kept things flexible. The Jedi Temple Guards are perhaps the most mysterious. These masked sentinels gave up their identities to become living symbols of justice, wielding distinctive double-bladed yellow lightsabers. The Clone Wars shows them as imposing figures guarding the Order's sacred spaces. Plot twist, the Grand Inquisitor was a former Temple Guard. Talk about a career change. While Guardian, Consular, and Sentinel were formalized classes in Legends, these classifications still exist in canon, but they are viewed more like professions than ranks. Guardians focused on combat mastery, think Jedi Special Forces, often wielding blue lightsabers. Consulars achieved through diplomacy what others did through combat, preferring green blades and peaceful solutions. Jedi Sentinels are, so far, the only Jedi sub-discipline from Legends that has almost entirely been brought into the current Star Wars canon, balancing both approaches while working as investigators and artifact hunters. For those who couldn't complete the traditional path, there was the Service Corps. The Council of Reassignment placed failed initiates into agricultural, medical, educational, or exploration corps. If you can't swing a lightsaber, there's a hydrospanner. Wartime created even more specialized roles. Jedi Commander was a military rank held by Jedi Padawans who took leadership positions within the Grand Army of the Republic during the Clone Wars. Ahsoka commanded the 501st Legion as a teenager because nothing says peacekeepers like child military officers. These alternative paths remind us the Force works through people differently. Not everyone becomes a lightsaber hero. Some guard knowledge, others heal the sick, still others grow food. The Order's strength lay in this diversity, a lesson forgotten during the Clone Wars militarization. Let's talk about the galaxy's most intense final exam, the Jedi Trials. These tests determine whether you become a galactic peacekeeper or spend your life in the service corps. Before attaining the rank of Jedi Knight, Padawans usually had to undergo the 9 steps of the Jedi Trials: teamwork, isolation, fear, anger, betrayal, focus, instinct, forgiveness, and protection. 9 challenges testing every aspect of character. A spiritual obstacle course where failure means agricultural duty instead of knighthood. The trials aren't standardized. Each Padawan faces challenges tailored to their specific weaknesses. Afraid of abandonment? Here's isolation. Struggle with anger? Face situations that would make saints consider violence. The Order believes in confronting demons head on. Sometimes real-world experiences substitute for formal trials. Anakin Skywalker's Jedi trials were unconventional, as he and a select few others were allowed to count his combat experience in the Battle of Genesis as all 5 of his trials. Ahsoka's ordeal became framed for terrorism counted as her trials, though she wisely walked away instead of accepting knighthood. Different eras approached trials differently. The High Republic emphasized formal testing in controlled environments. The Clone Wars threw Padawans into battle and called survival good enough. Luke's new Jedi Order, in Legends, rebuilt the concept from scratch with incomplete knowledge. The trials reveal a fundamental truth. It's not about power, but character. Can you face deepest fears without falling to darkness? Accept failure without losing hope? Forgive betrayal? These questions matter more than lightsaber skills or Force abilities. For those who fall, the Service Corps awaits. Meaningful but unglamorous service instead of heroics. The trials ultimately mirrored the entire Jedi journey. Challenging, transformative, and never quite what you expect. They separate those who merely use the Force from those who truly understand it. So, there you have it. Every rank in the Jedi Order, from the tiniest Force-sensitive toddler to the grandest of Grand Masters. It's a journey measured not in years, but in wisdom. Not in power, but in understanding. Whether you're Team Jedi or think the Sith had some valid points about the whole absolute power thing, you've got to respect the dedication it takes to climb these ranks. What's your take? Did the rigid hierarchy help maintain order or contribute to the Jedi's downfall? Should Anakin have gotten that Master rank? And seriously, what's up with the agricultural corps? Is space farming really that bad? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, hit subscribe for more deep dives into Star Wars lore, and remember, the Force will be with you always, even if you're stuck fertilizing mushrooms on Yukio.